Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
I hope that on your way in you picked up your gold prayer book for the month of Elul, because we are in the weeks leading up to the days of awe, the high holidays, Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. We use a special prayer book to remind us of the season, and it offers us some very beautiful and spiritual readings to reflect on as we do the work of contemplation leading up to the new year of 5785. We're going to begin at the bottom of page 3 with words of Hine Matov. It is so good to be together this Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom. As we just sang, it is great to be together this Shabbat evening, whether you are joining us here in person in our sanctuary or over the live stream. So as you saw in your temple emails, I celebrated a birthday this week, and I figured it's always good to have things to celebrate. So I figured this Shabbat we would celebrate. So I've selected some of my favorite melodies for our service this evening. But I'm also wanted to share something that I've been thinking about as I move into a personal new year, and we move into our communal new year of Rosh Hashanah in a few weeks. Which is finding blessing in this world. It is really hard to celebrate sometimes. It was hard for me to celebrate on Monday following the murder of 6 of our brothers and sisters in Israel this past week. And it's going to be difficult to celebrate our days of awe this year with the anniversary of October 7th, literally right in between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. And so that's what I want us to think about tonight, and for us to allow the gift and the blessing that is Shabbat itself to settle in our bones, to let this beautiful present our tradition gives us really sink in, to find that joy and peace and rest that our ancestors have been looking for thousands of years. And so I invite you to just let Shabbat in and think about the blessings in your life, even as we hold our communal grief at this chaotic and very sad world. So to begin our service, I wanted to share some words written by Rabbi David Wolpe, who's a very well-known scholar and writer, and he writes a weekly Torah commentary, and his words this week really resonated with me. The title of it is Our Grief in This Hour. And he's writing about Parsha Ki Teitzei, but really it's Haftarah, which you'll hear in just a moment. So Rabbi Wolpe asks, how does the prophet respond when people are suffering? Isaiah says, speaking in God's name, "For a moment I hid my face from you, and with everlasting kindness will I have compassion on you." Our hearts remain burdened with grief for the hostages who were murdered, and one of the places we turn to for understanding is our ancestors, who again and again endured the pain of persecution and loss. So how did the sages who came before us, who also suffered unimaginable losses, understand this verse from Isaiah. He said that he finds a recurring theme in all of the commentaries on this verse. For a moment I hid my face from you, and with everlasting kindness will I have compassion on you. In every generation, Rabbi Wolpe says, from rabbinic times until today, the commentators all acknowledge the pain that is expressed by the first half of this verse. For a moment, God is, or at least feels, absent, and in that dark void, the most terrible things befall us. Where was God in the camps or in the tunnels? There is no fully adequate response. Sometimes we ask these questions not to elicit answers, but to express anguish. Yet these same commentators turn to the second half of the verse and affirm it as well. Yes, the pain is real, but so is the promise. We will always feel the loss. That loss will also permit us to understand what moves us forward. As Rabbi Yochanan points out, our eye has a light part and a dark part, but we can only see through the dark part. In failure, loss, and grief, in God's hiding from us, we often see more clearly. We glimpse our deepest concerns and our most fervent loves. The Jewish world is in mourning. We are mourning for Carmel, Eden, Hirsch, Alexander, Almog, and Uri. We are in mourning for all of those killed and wounded and their families for the devastation in the aftermath of October 7th. There are no words that can make the pain disappear. No reassurances will shake the feeling that for a moment again God's face was hidden and darkness grips the world. But this passage from Isaiah is called one of the Haftarahs of Consolation, which is a series of Haftarah portions, readings from the prophets between the holiday of Tisha B'Av and between Yom Kippur. Rabbi Wolpe says the prophet recalls to us the challenges and the afflictions our people have known in the past. He shares in the reality and the depth of our pain. And he offers the consolation that this pain may be consuming right now, but the pain itself proves our compassion and turns us towards the hope of God's promise that endures. May the memory of those we have lost be a blessing and give us the strength to be God's partners in the sacred task of combating hatred and bringing light to the world. So this was a really meaningful commentary for me. And so I invite us to bring all of those feelings into our Shabbat service as we literally bring light to the world with our Shabbat candles. We're on page 11. And this evening, in memory of her father Kent, whose yortzeit we're observing this Shabbat, Rabbi Englander will be reading and lighting our candles.
In the beginning, emptiness and chaos, a great darkness over the deep. The Spirit of God moved over the waters. Explosion of light, the long chain of emerging life. Behold, it was very good. These candles evoked the very first light. Out of the darkness came reason, purpose, consciousness of beauty. The power to discern and do what is right. Let us hold the light in our hearts. Let us bring it with us into the darkest corners of creation, where there is pain and fear. Let us offer the light of love.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner v'tzivanu Lehadlik ner shel Shabbat, shel El Shabbat. Blessed are you who commands us to kindle the light of Shabbat. Blessed are you who commands us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
And as Rabbi Englander makes her way back up, we'll turn to pages 18 and 19.
A psalm for singing on the Sabbath day. It is good to give thanks to Adonai and to sing to your name most high, and to tell of your kindness in the morning, your faithfulness at night, upon 10 strings, upon lyre, with chanting and with harp. For you made me happy with your deeds, Adonai. Amidst the works of your hands I sing with joy. Adonai, how vast are your creations, how profound your designs. The ignorant do not know this, nor can the foolish understand. Together we read.
The righteous shall blossom like date palms and thrive like cedars of Lebanon. Planted in the house of Adonai, they shall flourish in the courts of our God, full of sap and richness, still bearing fruit in old age, proof that Adonai is upright, my rock in whom there is no wrong. We turn to page 20 as we welcome the angels of Shabbat with Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharet, Malachei HaSharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Mi Melech. Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Mi Melech, Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom. Boachem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Baruchuni. Barchuni l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem, Tzedchem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. One more time, Mi Melech. Mi Melech, Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Mi Melech, Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh, Kadosh Baruch Hu. Page 27. We read alternating paragraphs. We call you infinite, sovereign of sovereigns, shepherd and friend. We call you goodness of the world, eternal, all-knowing, ancient of days, giver of Torah, living source, protector and guide. We call you Redeemer, Defender, Father and Mother, Holy One, Blessed One, Almighty and Merciful. In sorrow, we call you Healer of broken hearts, Binder of open wounds. In days of awe, we call you Creator and Judge, my refuge, my light. Fathomless mystery, we praise your name. We lift our voices together in praise as we rise in body or spirit for the Baruch Hu on page 26. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. La 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
Page 29. All of them are travelers, bodies in motion, obedient servants of celestial laws. Moons orbit planets, planets circle stars. Stars spin around galaxies, galaxies cluster, drawn by dark matter. Superclusters flow, driven by dark energy. All of us are travelers, bodies in motion, unwitting servants of the flow of time. Within us, atoms vibrate, electrons whirl, and we are changing, aging, spinning our own orbits, drawn together, drifting apart, driven by forces we barely understand. Together,
Particles of matter in perpetual motion, we yearn for clarity and calm, strength to master our own dark energies and to counter the darkness in our world. As we lift our gaze to the starlight, may we lift ourselves to embrace a higher law.
turn to page 30 for Ahavat Olam, acknowledging God's love for the people of Israel.
Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha ahavta, Amcha ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadeta, Otanu limadeta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shochbenu uvkumenu na'asiyach bechu חיינו ואורך ימינו ובהם נגע יומם ולילה נגע יומם ולילה ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל, אוהב עמו ישראל. Page 32. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem, Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Vaed. Please be seated. On page 35, we read together in the English our Ve'ahavta for this month of Elul, this month of reflection and contemplation as we think about our blessings. Page 35. You shall love the ones who are close with all your heart, with all your spirit, with all your strength. Remember these words, inscribe them on your heart. Love them when they struggle, when they sadden and disappoint you. Love them when they fail. See the good within them, even when they can't. Look at them and listen, even when it's hard. Be grateful for their guidance, even their reproof, when they save you from yourself. Love them when they give you joy, and love them when they don't. When you lie down, let go of anger. When you rise up at dawn, begin again. Praise them for their deeds at home. Speak to them in public with respect. Bind yourself to the ones you love, with promises kept and vows fulfilled. Open to them the gates of your heart, the doorway of your soul, and let them know you. So shall the ones you cherish feel your love, your presence, and your care.
Page 41. Crossing the sea. Eternal, watch over my small domain of light and shadow, those few people who share my love and all others upon this earth, that sometimes shakes with thunder and reverberates with lightning. Help us to live with fear and conquer rage. Heal the hate that makes us kill and covers the ground with this Red Sea that only you can part, so we may all walk through the wilderness to your realm of peace, where all men and women are one, and sing your blessed name. Micha Mocha on page 40.
Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya 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 la 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 la. Micha Mocha, Micha Mocha, Ba'elim Adonai, Micha Mocha, Ne'ezar B'Kodesh, Nora Tehilot, Osef Eleh, Nora Tehilot, Osef Eleh, Ma'alechutecha, Adonai yimloch leolam vaed. Yalalai, 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 Page 42. After we read the English, we'll join together in the melody for Hapurei Sukkot Shalom. Let's read together in the middle of the page. Bless our sleep with peace, Adonai, and awaken us to life when we rise. With power sublime, spread over us your shelter of shalom, and through your wisdom restore us, make us whole. Let your name proclaim your presence in our lives. Be our shield, make us stronger than the enemies we face. Illness and war, famine and sorrow, and stronger than the enemies in our hearts, wickedness and sin. Carry us to safety as on wings, for you are the monarch of grace, the sovereign of compassion. You are the one who cares for us and sets us free. Watch over us, we who go forth in life. Watch over us, that we may come home in peace, now until the end of time. Baruch atah Adonai haborei sukkot shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai haborei sukkot shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael. Ve'al Yerushalayim ve'al kol amo. Ve'al Yerushalayim shalom. Baruch atah Adonai haborei sukkot shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael.
Rise together as a community, embody our spirit, and we turn to page 48 for the Hatfilah, the Amidah, the central prayer of our service. Adonai sevat tiftach ufia gitehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor ve'hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Ve'koneh
Magen. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Bezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor leolam Adonai, Mechaye hakol atah Rav lehoshia, Mori hatatal, Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechaye hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim verofech oholim, Umatir Asurib, Umekayem emunato, Lishenei afar, Micha mocha ba'al gevurot, Umidom melech, Melech menit umechayeh, Umatniach Yeshua, B'ne'eman atah lahachayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh ha'akol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kdoshim b'chol yom yahalelu chasela. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh.
Please be seated. And we turn to page 91. Looking toward Zion. Pray for peace in the earthly Jerusalem to match the tranquility of the heavenly Jerusalem. Jerusalem, may those who love you even more. Let song of great peace rise from your ramparts and towers, from your walls and citadels. Jerusalem, your sisters and brothers pray for you at home and on the way when they lie down and when they rise. Let peace saturate your stones. Let peace bind up your wounds. A healing of body and a healing of soul. For your sake, Jerusalem, for God's and for ours, we say, together we say,
Peace be within your reach, and goodness within your gates. Jerusalem, may you be a city knit together. Page 73. A short testament. Whatever harm I may have done in all my life, in all your wide creation, if I cannot repair it, I beg you to repair it. And then there are all the wounded, the poor, the deaf, the lonely, and the old, whom I have roughly dismissed as if I were not one of them, together. Where I have wronged them by it and cannot make amends, I ask you to comfort them to overflowing. And where there are lives I may have withered around me, or lives of strangers far or near, that I've destroyed in blind complicity, and if I cannot find them or have no way to serve them, remember them. I beg you to remember them when winter is over and all your unimaginable promises burst into song on death's bare branches. We pray for peace together on page 70. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. You, Adonai, are the blessed one who blesses us with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, hamvarech et amo Yisrael b'shalom. We take a moment for the prayers of our hearts. Page 74. Oh, say shalom, shalom mimromav, hu yaseh shalom, oh, say shalom, oh, say shalom, shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom, hu yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'ol kol Yisrael, ve'imeru amen. Oh, say shalom, shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom. Oh, say shalom, shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom. Hu yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'ol kol Yisrael, ve'imeru amen. Oh, say shalom, shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom. Oh, say shalom, shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom.
Page 76. We read responsively. May the one whose blessings are many heal and bless us and all those who live in the shadow of illness.
May God's care bring us comfort and courage.
May God's love open our eyes to the faith and compassion around us.
May the source of hope and renewal show us the way toward peace of mind, wholeness within, and strength from community.
Source of blessings as you inspired Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, inspire us too.
Let us shine the soft light of human kindness in dark places. Let song, prayer, and silence be our instruments of care and healing. Let us all, the sick and the well together, be blessed, as God blessed Joshua, chazak ve'ematz, be strong and of good courage.
Let us say,
Amen.
before we sing the prayer of healing, We are thinking of those in our community who are in need of healing mind, body, or spirit. We're thinking of Rita Brady and Angela D.C. Theobald. If you have anyone you are thinking of at this time, I invite you to share those names with our community as I make my hand around the room.
Charles Sellen, John Mitchell, Doc McKinney, Sam Zuka, Fred and Dorothy Weiss, Susan Popiol, Larry Reed, Mary Lou Boya, Ray Halpern, and M.H. Levine.
Jonathan. Thank you.
Leslie Wolfson, Sharon, Larry, and Arthur Rosenblum.
Thank you.
Jesse Fisk.
Sherry.
Gail Ashley.
Mishaberach Avotenu Mekor Habraha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishaberach imotenu lekor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
In thinking with our intention for this Shabbat of finding blessing, even amidst a world of chaos, a world of tragedy, and a world with no answers, I have a story for us tonight that is a new favorite, and the title is The Curse of Blessings. There was an officer of the law who was proud as you can imagine. He wore a hat with a plume, and he had a sword with a gold handle, and he was as pompous as could be. He was arrogant and bold and callous. Every letter of the alphabet served only to demonstrate his authority and exalt his being. One day, he was walking his beat, and he heard a commotion in an alley. He ventured into the darkness, and there in the distance saw a man in rags. "Come forward," he commanded. "Come forward now." But the man in rags did not come forward. "I am an officer of the law, and I command you, come forward." The man in rags still did not move. He shifted his weight from one foot to the other, and then he spoke. "I don't know what I'm going to do with you." "Do with me?" the officer of the law mocked. "Do with me? You don't do with me, I do with you. I command you to come forward." "Now I know what to do with you," the man in rags said, and as he spoke, he drew his sword and moved to attack. The officer of the law drew his own sword in defense. "Stop that," he ordered. "Put your sword down right now." But the man in rags did not stop. The officer of the law had to parry thrusts left and right. He commanded him to stop again, but to no avail, and the officer of the law was forced to retreat. When it seemed that the man in rags would prevail, he lowered his guard, and what the officer of the law had intended as a parry became a thrust. His sword ran right through the man in rags. "I didn't mean that," the officer of the law said. "I didn't mean to hurt you. Why didn't you stop when I ordered you to?" The man in rags waved his words away. I am leaving you, he said, and as I do, I put upon you the curse of blessings. The curse of blessings means every day you must say a new blessing, a blessing you have never said before. On the day you do not say a new blessing, that is the day you will die. The man in rags closed his eyes. The officer of the law looked about for help, but there was none to be found, and when he turned back, the man in rags had disappeared. He was gone. It was a dream, the officer of the law thought. It was only a dream. I just imagined it. It was late in the afternoon, and the sun was setting. As much as the officer of the law tried to ignore this experience, he could not. The day ended with a sunset. The officer of the law felt his body growing cold and knew from the chill that his life could be leaving him. In a panic, he uttered these words of blessing. You are blessed, God, who has created such a beautiful sunset. At once, warmth and life flowed back into him. He realized with both shock and relief that the curse had been real. The next morning, he did not delay. He woke with words of blessing. You are blessed that you allowed me to wake up this morning. His life felt secure the entire day. The next morning, he blessed his ability to rise from his bed, and the following day, he blessed his ability to tie his shoes. Day after day, he found abilities he could bless, that he could go to the bathroom, that he had teeth to brush, that each finger of his hand still worked, that he had toes on his feet and hair on his head. He blessed his clothes, every single garment. He blessed his house, the roof and the floor, his furniture, and every table and chair. At last, he ran out of things to bless, so he began to bless relationships. He blessed his family and friends, fellow workers, and those who worked for him. He blessed the mailman and the clerks. He was surprised to find that they appreciated the blessings. His words had power. They drew family and friends closer to him. Word went out that the officer of the law was a source of blessing. Years passed, and then decades. The officer of the law had to go further afield to find new sources of blessing. He blessed city councils and university buildings, scientists, and their discoveries. As he traveled through the world, he became in awe of its balance and its beauty, and he blessed that. The more he learned, the more he had to bless. His life was long, and he had the opportunity to learn in every field. He passed the age of 100. Most of his friends were long gone. His time was relegated to searching for the purpose in life and the one source from which all blessings flow. He had long since realized that he was not the source, but only the conduit. And even that realization was welcomed with a blessing that sustained him for yet another day. As he approached the age of 120, he considered that his life was long enough. Even the great saints of his people had not lived longer. On his birthday, he made a conscious decision to utter no new blessing and allow his life to come to an end. Still, he could recite old blessings, and throughout the day he reviewed them, all the blessings for his body and his possessions, for relationships that spread throughout the world now, for the awesome beauty and balance of creation, and for the deep resonance, the pulse of purpose that pervaded his very being. But no new blessing passed his lips. As the sun was setting, a chill progressed inward. He did not resist it. In the twilight, a figure suddenly appeared, the man in rags. You, the officer of the law exclaimed, I have thought about you every day for 100 years. I never meant to harm you. Please forgive me. You don't understand, said the man in rags. You still don't know who I am, do you? I am the angel who was sent 100 years ago to harvest your soul. But when I looked at you, so pompous and proud, there was nothing there to harvest. An empty uniform was all I saw. So I put upon you the curse of blessings, and now look what you've become. The officer of the law grasped in an instant all that had happened and why. Overwhelmed, he said, I feel blessed, dear God, that you have kept me alive and sustained me so I could attain this moment of insight. Now look what you've done, the man in rags said in frustration. You said a new blessing. And life flowed back into the officer, and he and the man in rags just looked to each other, neither of them knowing quite what to do. So that's the story of the curse of blessings. Jewish tradition tells us that we are supposed to say 100 blessings a day, and while maybe it's impossible to find new things to bless every single day like the officer, it's a reminder that there's holiness in this world, but it's up to us to be God's partners by seeing it and naming it and blessing it. So I wish us all the strength to continue looking around and saying old and new blessings as we move into the new Jewish year. We'll turn now back to our prayer books to page 78. Please rise in body or spirit for the Aleinu. Please be seated. Page 83. Beautiful poem by the poet Mary Oliver to bring us into Mourner's Kaddish, remembering those we hold close in our hearts forever. In Blackwater Woods, look, the trees are turning their own bodies into pillars of light, are giving off the rich fragrance of cinnamon and fulfillment. The long tapers of cattails are bursting and floating away over the blue shoulders of the ponds, and every pond, no matter what its name is nameless now. Every year, everything I have ever learned in my lifetime leads back to this, the fires and the black river of loss, whose other side is salvation, whose meaning none of us will ever know. To live in this world, you must be able to do three things: to love what is mortal, to hold it against your bones, knowing your own life depends on it, and when the time comes to let it go, let it go. This Shabbat, during the period of Shloshim, the month following death, we remember William Newman, the husband of Arlene Newman. At the Yortzeit and the anniversary of death, we remember Helen Fallick Alpern, Francis Frank Backelman, Elaine Benjamin, Shirley Berlin, Samuel Buckman, Mary Calandrino, Gertrude Cohn, Max Derby, Morris Drucker, Kent Englander, Simon M. Esrig, Shirley Evantoff, Maurice Jack Fields, Jay Fisk, Rabbi Eddie Fox, Albert J. Friedkin, Harry Gartner, Gilbert Geller, Saul S. Goffin, Vicki B. Goldstein, Marilyn Goodman, Kathy Hartgee, William Hecht, Rose Gabin Jarislaw, Pauline Jenkins, Marvin Kay, Jesse Nyberg, Louis Korn, Melvin Kurland, Norma S. Levine, Herbert Herb Manass, Max Mayo, June Aaron Michelle, Lillian Nykirk, Edward Nykirk, Michael Obat, Morton Schimmel, Ruth Schnitzer, Esther Sirota, Sheldon Spivak, Ernest Spiritas, Maxwell Tasman, Rabbi Leo Eliezer Toritz, Arnold Vandroff, Joseph Wasserstrom, and Edward Charles Wexler. If you have names you'd like to share aloud of those you're remembering this evening, please do so as I look around the room. For those whose names we heard aloud and those who remain with us always, we turn to page 86 and rise as one community for Kaddish Yatom, the Mourner's Kaddish. Yit Gadal ve'yit Kadash Shemeh Rabbah be'alma divrach iruteh ve'amlich malchuteh b'chayachon uvyomechon uvechaye dechol beit Yisrael ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru amen. Yahei Shemeh Rabbah mevarach le'olam ulalmei almaya. Yit barach ve'yish tabach ve'yit pa'ar ve'yit romam ve'yit naseh ve'yit hadar ve'yit haleh ve'yit halal shemeh dekudesha barichu le'ela min kol birchata ve'shirata tushbechata ve'nechemata da'amiran ba'alma ve'imru amen. Yehei shalama rabba min shemaya V'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru amen. Zichronam livracha, may their memories always be for a blessing. Please be seated. So we invite up Ann Stone, or Ann, is Ann coming up? Ann, for our announcements. We're so glad to see you back in action, Ann, and thank you for being here to share announcements with us this evening.
Good to be back. Shabbat Shalom. I'm Ann Stone, and on behalf of the Board of Trustees, we are delighted to welcome you to Temple tonight. We are wishing a very happy birthday to Rabbi Glasser, and a thank you to Miriam and Steve Greenhut for sponsoring our celebratory Oneg this evening. Tomorrow at 9 a.m., Rabbi Glasser will lead the Torah study. Religious school will be in session at 9 o'clock on Sunday, followed by our teens participating at the JCA in Kosher Market Sweep at 12:45. We also have many upcoming group events. T3 will have a Jaguar tailgate party on Sunday at 1 o'clock. Beyond Wisdom will take place Tuesday at 10:30. And on Wednesday, Sisterhood will have Cooks and Books at 12 o'clock. On September the 19th, we will have our first Zoom Jewish text class of the year on the topic of art in Israel, post-October 7th. Save the weekend of September 28th and 29th for a Shlichot program and services with Chorale. Reverse Tishlach will be at Jacksonville Beach, and our Days of Awe cemetery services at Evergreen and Greenlawn. For more information about these upcoming events and Days of Awe and more, please see your Temple Times. The emails, Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Purple dress, it's your favorite color. Thank you for everything you do for our community.
Thank you.
And I'm very excited for the Oneg and celebrating you even more this whole week. And yeah, this is great. So thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you. Good to be here, and it's great to share good occasions with our community. And speaking of being grateful for each other and the love of community that we have, as we think about our blessings this year, we continue to pray for our world to become the place that we dream for it to be, a world of love. So we'll continue on page 92 with our closing song, Olam Chesed Yibaneh.
Olam chesed yibaneh, yadadai, dai, dai, yadadai, dai. Olam chesed yibaneh, dadadai, dai, dai, yadadai, dai. Olam chesed yibaneh, dadadai, dai, dai, yadadai, dai. Olam chesed yibaneh, yadadai, dai, dai, yadadai, dai. I will build this world from love. Yadadai, dai, dai, yadadai, dai. And you must build this world from love. Yadadai, dai, dai, yadadai, dai. And if we build this world from love, yadadai, dai, dai, yadadai, dai, then God will build this world from love. Yadadai, dai, dai, yadadai, dai.
And we'll join together on page 5.
And in honor of her birthday, Rabbi Glasser will lead us in the Kiddush and Motzi.
Let's join together in our brief kiddush this evening. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen l'chaim. And we'll join in Motzi. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
And we turn to page 91, and I'd like to invite up our shofar blower, Kathy Winterfield. So it's tradition that every day during the month of Elul, which we are in, that we hear the shofar being blown. And since we're all here together before the days of awe, we have this great privilege to hear it tonight. So we recite the blessing together at the top of page 91.
Baruch atah Adonai, shomea truah. Blessed are you, Adonai, who hears the sounding of the shofar.
Tekiah, Shevarim Truah, Tekiah,
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.